At least 6 people have been killed at that busy shopping center after a man went on a stabbing rampage. Several others are being treated in hospital, including a 9-month-old boy. Shoppers at that mall described the scene.
People were coming out and screaming, like, stabbing.
Now, the suspect was shot and killed by the police. A motive remains unknown at this time. CBC's Dominic Velitis joins us now with more on this story. Dom, good to see you. What do we know so far about this attack?
Well, Natasha, police say the suspect entered the Westfield shopping mall, which is at Sydney's Bondi Junction, at around 3:10 p.m. local time, and then left very shortly after, before returning about 10 minutes later. And he then proceeded to move throughout the mall, attacking people with a knife as he went, until he was eventually confronted and shot dead by a police officer. Now, in all, 6 people were killed, 4 women and 1 man died at the scene, while a 5th woman later died from her injuries in hospital. Meanwhile, Natasha, 8 other people are being treated for their injuries at various hospitals around Sydney, including that 9-month-old baby you mentioned, who was last reported to be in surgery. And it is being reported in local media, Natasha, that that baby's mother is among the 6 people who were killed today. Now, according to police, the first officer at the scene was a senior officer who was nearby at the time, and it was down to her, Natasha, alone to confront the attacker. Here's New South Wales Assistant Commissioner Anthony Cook.
A single unit officer, Inspector of Police, was nearby, attended, went into the centre, directed by a range of people. She confronted the offender, who had moved by this stage to level 5. As she continued to walk quickly behind him to catch up with him, he turned, faced her, raised a knife. She discharged a firearm, and that person is now deceased.
And that officer, Natasha, has since been praised by Australia's Prime Minister, Tony Albanese, who described her as a hero, adding there was no doubt her actions this afternoon saved other lives today. Natasha.
An incredible act of bravery on the part of that officer. But Dom, what those people in Australia were doing is what millions in Canada and in the UK will be doing today. Taking their families to a shopping center, and then something like this happens, which brings us to the issue of the suspect himself. What do we know about this man?
Not a great amount at this point, Natasha. Police are saying that he was a 40-year-old man. And they're also saying that they're waiting for formal identification to take place. And if he is who they think he is, then police say they do not believe this attack was linked to terrorism in any way. But there are certainly lots of questions surrounding this terrible incident. One of the big ones, of course, is motive. What drove this individual to carry out such an appalling act? And that question and others will be the focus of a very large police investigation, which is already underway, and one we are told will be ongoing for many, many days. Natasha.
Okay, thanks so much.